I'm Matt Gagne, the CEO of the Maine Heritage Policy Center, and I wanted to give you a quick update on some of the work that you've helped us accomplish over the last several months. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the Legislative Guidebook. This is a project that we've been dreaming about at MHPC for a number of years, and this year it finally came to fruition. Basically what it is a book that has about 80 or so ideas that would help move Maine in a more conservative direction and increase prosperity and freedom for all of its people. We've been working tirelessly with legislators in Augusta to get these sponsored as actual legislation, get them through the committee process, testify on them, go through work sessions, and get them to the floor to actually formally vote on and hopefully get signed by the governor. Right now we have about 40 or so of these ideas actually sponsored as legislation. We're very, very proud of that. For the last several months, we've been working very hard on getting these things through the legislative process and hopefully enacted into law. It's tough, but we have spent as much time as possible in Augusta trying to make these things happen. MHPC has testified more than 20 times on individual pieces of legislation, and we're certainly not done yet. Some of our biggest priorities, like right to shop, reforming the direct primary care industry, education savings accounts, and others, are still in the works, are still on the docket, and we're working very hard to make sure that they become a reality. In addition to the Legislative Guidebook, we're also, of course, deeply involved in the negotiations on questions 2 and questions 4 from last November and what to do about those. But it looks very promising that we're going to be able to mitigate some of the damage done by the voters last November. We scored a major victory on question 4. Just recently, the LCRED committee in Augusta voted 11-2 to reinstitute the tip credit, which I think is going to go to the floor very soon as emergency legislation, and hopefully will be passed very quickly. This is not all the work we have to do in question 4, because the entire question from top to bottom, of course, is damaging to the Maine economy, but it's a major step in the right direction to get us back on track and help the people in Maine, particularly servers and restaurants, get back the livelihood they were able to have earlier before this question was passed. Question 2 is ongoing, of course. It is probably the most difficult lift we have all session. Getting rid of the 3% surcharge on the top of earners of $200,000 or more is a major problem for the economy of the state. People are already planning to leave the state because of it. It is going to have negative consequences that frankly we don't even understand right now, but at the very least, thousands of jobs will be lost, and a great deal of money that was circulating in the Maine economy right now will no longer be circulating in the Maine economy because people will be living in New Hampshire, Florida, and other states as a result of this. I think, based on the negotiations that I've seen happen, the conversations I've had with lawmakers in Augusta, I think we're making progress towards getting a full repeal of the 3% surcharge. Now, the discussions are circulating around the amount of money going to education and whether or not they're going to increase funding there. They're still ongoing. We don't know exactly what's going to happen yet, but the real good news, I suppose, to tell you right now is that it looks like there's real progress towards that goal, towards saving the Maine economy, because I don't think there's anybody in the state that has any common sense that believes that we can survive at 10.15% for a top rate. So this is some of the stuff we've been working on. We have a lot more, of course. Session is going to continue all the way through probably June. We're going to have to pass a budget. There's going to be a lot of work ahead of us. But because of the work that you have done, because of the help that you have provided us, we're able to do these things. We're able to move the ball forward on a number of conservative proposals that are going to make the state of Maine a better place to live, to work, and to be free. And going forward, we have a lot more work ahead of us. In November, you're going to be seeing likely a Medicaid expansion ballot question on the ballot. Of course, ballot questions are now how everybody wants to make law, and we're going to have a substantial presence in that fight. We're going to have to come up with as much scholarship as possible, publish reports, publish analysis that shows exactly why that is the wrong pathway forward for Maine. It's going to be a tough fight, and certainly the opposite side has as much resources as possible to bring to bear on that question to try to get it passed. We'll be leading the fight against it, and that's not the only thing. There's going to be a lot more ahead. The left is very organized, they know what they're doing, and they have a very substantial agenda that they're pushing forward and they want to see enacted in the state of Maine. The only thing standing against that, the only thing that makes it possible to stop these bad ideas and to actually start enacting good ideas is the Maine Heritage Policy Center. So I want to say thank you very much for all the work you've done, all the help you've been in making that a reality for us. And going forward, your support is going to be critical to make sure that we continue to move the ball forward in this way. So I just want to say thanks one more time, and we'll talk again soon.